Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first In It to Win It. We're going to be going over a little bit of detail about group play in Cyrodiil and basically how to win. So to get started, we're going to learn how to get into Cyrodiil. Most of you probably already know this. You're going to hit the L hotkey on your keyboard, and you're going to go all the way to the right. On the top right, there is a button that says Campaigns. Under that Campaigns tab, there is a list of normal on the left. You're going to go 30-day non-champ and Cyrodiil. You're going to select that as your home campaign. This is where all of Remnants of Hope PvP happens in Cyrodiil, is on Cyrodiil. Once you have that set as your home, go ahead and enter the campaign. I'm going to go ahead and just queue us as a group.
Well, I already learned something.
Well, there you go.
That image, is that the white gold tower, that loading screen?
Yes, it is. Its physical location is actually an Imperial City, which Izo runs her Imperial City runs on Sundays, but not until Game of Thrones is over. Alright, once we all get into Cyrodiil, let's all come up and group up on Crown here. And you guys are going to hear this a lot, group on Crown. Alright, for those of you who are at the southern Morrowind Gate, we are going to come get you. Oh, sorry, the northern Morrowind Gate.
So watch it stay north?
Yep, if you're there, stay there. Alright, so if everybody comes to Crown, this in the middle, most of you already know this, this is a Transitus Shrine. When you hit E on it, it will bring up a large map of all of Cyrodiil, along with basically what is going on. So if you look to the top right of your screen, we are going to travel to the northern Morrowind Gate so we can pick up the rest of our group. Alright, so welcome to Cyrodiil. We're going to follow over here. This is where we're going to pick up all of our daily quests. If you have not completed the quest line to start Cyrodiil, that's fine. We're going to skip it for now. Like I said, we probably won't even get into combat tonight. This is going to be a lot of a learning experience.
So this is where you can pick up the quest line now?
The quest line is from Olivia right here on top of Crown. And she will teach you the basics of how to set up siege, how to fire the siege, how to use it, but not the tactics that we're going to go over here tonight. Alright, so if everybody go ahead and open your map and get it right click once so you can see all of Cyrodiil. We are going to go over the map, what the icons mean, and pretty much everything you need to know about the map itself. So if you follow the red line that goes to the southwest, you will get to what's called King's Crest Keep. Directly south of that, you will see Arius Keep. Now there's a lot of things going on at Arius right now. It was just captured. You can see crossed swords. Some of them are red, some of them are yellow. That is where Ebonheart Pact and Alderi Dominion have been fighting recently. The bigger the swords, the more people who have been involved. Around the outside of Arius Keep, you can see that the Arius Keep mine is in yellow, so we do not own that currently. But the farm and the lumber mill we still own. Now those resources, they do a lot of things actually. They do more than people realize. If you have the majority of the resources captured, so let's say if we were going to take Arius Keep back right now, they cannot use the Transitus Shrine to fast travel between keeps because we own the majority of the resources around it. The mine itself, if the defending person owns the mine, so Alderi Dominion AD owns the mine right now, that means that the walls have an additional 10%
User
health.
joined your channel.
The farm is all of the defenders in it, so all of the NPC guards, all of the NPC guards outside of the gate and inside the keep. If you own the farm as the defender, all of the NPCs inside of your keep have an additional 10% health. The lumber mill, that affects your doors. So the main door coming into the keep, as well as the front door on the walls, will have an additional 10% health if you as the defender own that resource. So a way that we can lock people out of fast traveling to and from, or maybe creating a distraction, is we can flag all of the resources on a keep, breaking the chain. So if we were to go follow the line down from Arius to Blue Road Keep, and then keep going down across the little bridge icon to Castle Alesia, if we were to go right now and flag all of the resources on Castle Alesia and take them for ourselves, this entire chain to the right would be broken. Well, they still have Draclo, but that's for purposes of this. Then everything north of Alesia, they cannot fast travel to, because that line has been broken. So if you can see the red lines, that is the keeps that we can currently travel to using the Transitus Shrine. The yellow lines are the keeps that AD can travel to, and the blue is for DC. You'll also see that the bridges themselves, they are destructible. So the bridge in between Castle Alesia that we were just at and Sejanus, you can actually set up siege and destroy that bridge, making it impossible for people to go straight from Castle Alesia to Sejanus on foot. Now they can travel all the way south and go down to the other bridge, but generally in Sothasil things move so fast that if you block off one of those, people are going to try a different route, as in they're going to go backwards. They're not going to try and go all the way down and around, because that takes too much time and too much of the map can change before then. There's also in between EP and DC areas, there are mill gates, mile gates. You can also destroy those, making them impassable. There are 6 main gates that are in between where we are right now at the Northern Morrowind Gate and King's Crest Keep. That is the Gate of Chim. As long as we hold King's Crest Keep, the Gate of Chim remains closed, and no other factions can get into where we are right now. Now, if they were to take King's Crest Keep, the Gate of Chim would open, allowing them to reach our scrolls, and there'll be a little bit more on scrolls here in a little bit. The towns that you can see, there's 3 towns. If you go all the way south, not all the way, but if you go back to Alesia where we were and go just to the southeast, you will see Cropsford. If you go north, you'll see Bruma, and if you'll go to the southwest, you will see Velastris. These are towns where you can buy specific PvP gear. You have to own the town, and taking these towns is a lot different than taking outposts or keeps, and we will get into that maybe later. So the scrolls are a big important deal here in Cyrodiil. You will actually see if you hit your character key and you scroll down to your active effects, you will see that we don't have any scroll buffs right now. That's a shame, we don't have any scrolls. We have our own, but if we capture the either DC or AD scrolls, we will actually get buffs within Cyrodiil, increasing either our health, our damage, our magicka, or stamina. These buffs are great. They're great to have. The scrolls also give you points on the leaderboard. We will get way into that way later about the leaderboard, just so I'm not skipping around back and forth. So, staying on the map, we can see these the stars that are around resources. In shorthand communication, that's what we would call lit. So right now, Farragut Keep is lit, meaning that somebody is attacking Farragut Keep. If you put your mouse over it, you can see that AD has 14 siege weapons active on Farragut Keep. We just explained how they would have to take King's Crest in order to get our Scroll of Chim, but they are taking Farragut, which will open the Gate of Gartuk, and they will get access to the Scroll of Gartuk, and they can take that scroll and carry it by foot all the way back down to their home, and they can place it for safekeeping in one of their own keeps. The longer you hold a scroll as a faction, the more points that you will get as a faction. So that is what we call lit. You will hear things being called out a little bit later on when we actually get into the group combat portion of this. You will hear proxy, you will hear bugs, you will hear destro. These all relate to spells that some people have. If you are a magic attune, it is very highly advised that you all go into the Alliance tree, the Alliance War tree, into the support category, assault category. And the last one that you get is called Magicka Detonation. Everybody is not required, but very, very strongly encouraged. If you are a magic attune, whether it's a healer or a DPS, you are very strongly encouraged to take Magicka Detonation and then its Proximity Detonation morph. Bugs, that is specifically for Wardens. That is Subterranean Assault. So you're going to hear right before an engagement, you're going to hear Proxy now, Bugs out now, and you're going to start your Subterranean Assault. That is only if you're a Warden. And what these are is they are timed massive damage AoE attacks. If you combine these with a Destro ult and a negate on top of it all, and they all hit at the same time in the same place, a group as big as ours could feasibly, if everything works out correctly, we could take out a Fangzard, which is about 3 full raid groups. So there's a lot of communication that needs to happen. There's a lot of coordination that needs to happen. So Destro ults, currently, there's really only 2 classes that have actual Destro ults. People talking about a gray portal. Basically what a gray portal means, if we are stuck all the way on the other side of the map, we cannot use a transit as shrine, but we need to get back to either take a resource or maybe stop a scroll from being taken. You can see somebody just picked up a scroll and they're running it on foot. So if we needed to get there right now, but the transitus is broken and we have a keep in between where they're going, we can use what they call the gray portal. What that means is typically you throw yourself in the river and you die. Even though the keeps are cut off from transitus shrines, as long as they are not lit or flagged, you can still res there. So it doesn't matter if we're across the map, if we own a keep in that general area, we can take a gray portal, we can all respawn right there where we need to be, and we can go intercept that scroll.
Do you mind if I add something to that?
Sure.
If you die to a PvE mob or monster or anything like that, it will make you go back to the way shrine. Like slaughterfish or letting PvE people like just kill you.
Yes, that will take you back to the gates. Either north or south. Another thing that you'll hear a lot is called squirreling. And have you ever seen a dog chasing a squirrel? It kind of just runs all over the place with no care about what's going on around it. You'll hear people say stop squirreling. And basically what that means is that we all need to regroup onto Crown and stop chasing the onesies and twosies that are running away. Because 9 times out of 10, they are specifically built to kite you around a rock, instantly one-shot you, and then teabag your corpse for about 30 minutes. So staying as a big group, 9 times out of 10, the gankers will not approach a big group unless there are stragglers or people who are not paying attention. You know, if we stop in stealth and only one person doesn't stealth, he either doesn't hear the call or just doesn't stealth for whatever reason, they'll get ganked. And 9 times out of 10, there's nothing that we can do about it, because the people who gank in South of Sil are actually, 9 times out of 10, they're really, really good. And they will kill you in 2 hits and be gone before anybody can find them. So group communication and following the commands of whoever is leading is huge in Cyrodiil. So now we're going to go over building a tomb that is more focused towards group play rather than individual PvP, as in Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds, you kind of build a little bit more towards individual, but here in Cyrodiil, with this type of event and this type of focus, you want to win Cyrodiil. You're not going to win Cyrodiil by yourself. What you're looking for is self-buffed. You want around 21,000 resists. That's physical and spell resists. That's self-buffed. With no other buffs on you, that's about what you're looking for. With a food buff, you're wanting over 20,000 HP. Now that is a little low. We have been in guilds before where we were required to have 26. The reason for that is if you have less than 20k and low resists, you are basically a walking VD proc. When I say VD, I do not mean an STD, I mean the Vicious Death set. And what that is a lot of bombers use that. If you ever run in Cyrodiil, in Imperial City with Ezo, we get bombed a lot. It's quite comical and it's a joke, it's funny. But when you're actually trying to move towards an objective and half of your group dies because of a bomb, that's no good. So what Vicious Death does, it is a 5-piece set. When you have it equipped, if you get a killing blow on somebody, that person will detonate for around 10,000 damage. So a lot of bombers will use proxies, the proximity detonation that I spoke of earlier. And what that will actually do is it will proc and hit a massive amount of damage AoE. If they get one killing blow on somebody, it procs Vicious Death on that person, spamming out another 10k in an AoE radius. Now the damage does reduce the farther you are away, but in Cyrodiil we need to be grouped. Thank you, Monk, for coming. We'll catch you later.
Later. User disconnected
So
from your
if another
channel.
person dies to that vicious death proc, they will then proc vicious death, and it is a very, very, very bad situation that can go south very quickly. So you're wanting 21,000 resists, both physical and spell resists, and you're wanting about 20,000 health, and that is just self-buff with food. If you are a stamina class, it is very, very beneficial to be running dual wield, at least on one bar, and the most important spell that you can get on there is Steel Tornado. When you're running through a big group and your bugs just went off, your proxy just went off, you had a huge negate come down and just blew everybody out of the water with your Nova. But now they're all sitting down at about 10% health. Well, Steel Tornado, it is an execute ability. It does more damage the lower health that people are, and it has an actually very large range for a melee ability. So if you run through there and just spamming Steel Tornado, people are gonna die. And like I said, with magic attunes, you'll be wanting to run proxy, and it doesn't matter if you're a healer or if you're a DPS, you want to be running proximity detonation. Destra ults we already covered. For wardens, your ult of choice is either going to be a permafrost. I run permafrost on back bar and flawless dawnbreaker on front bar, which increases the damage of my weapon abilities, which my Steel Tornado is on my front bar. I don't really ever use dawnbreaker unless it is only a few people. It's just there for the additional 15% weapon damage that you get from having it slotted. For sorcerers, every single sorcerer in the group should have a negate, unless we have like 10 sorcerers, but even then, the war here in Cyrodiil is basically decided by how many negates you can land correctly. Because we can throw a negate out, throw our destros out, and somebody else can counter. One person throwing a negate on top of ours actually eats our negate, eats our destro ults, and eats all of the bugs and proxies that come out of it. So it becomes kind of a mind game about when to throw your negates. So if you have 3 or 4 in a group, the size of, a 12-man group, 3 or 4 is great. So the destro, going along with the destro ults, Templars, you want Novas. For Dragon Knights, the banner is really, really good. The shackle banner. For Nightblades, there is, what is that spell called, Isa, that gives healing?
Oh god. I don't know what you're talking about.
I believe it's in your siphoning tree, your ult for the siphoning
Oh,
tree.
the soul tether.
Yes, Soul Tether.
Sorry.
If you're a Stamblade, the Soul Tether is great. For Magic and Nightblades, they actually run the Mage's Guild ult. So, utility ults, like we've already spoken about, mostly that's going to be Permafrost. Every once in a while you can land maybe a Dawnbreaker from a Stamblade to stun a smaller group of people. But another good ult to run as a Sorc on either your back bar or front bar, whichever you do not have your negate, is the Storm Atronach, because when it lands it also stuns. So if we can stun people in a negate with other Destra ults, plus bugs, plus proxies, that's a win condition right there. Might not always happen that way because of, maybe the group dodges the ults, maybe the negate wasn't thrown correctly and it missed, maybe the Destra ult missed. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but in a perfect world, a perfect situation, if you get all of those things to hit at the same time, a group of about 10 to 12 can easily take out a group of 40 to 80. And some of you might be thinking, oh well, no, that's not going to happen, but I have seen it. We have recordings of it. It's happened. So, when you're in a group, it is very, very beneficial to listen to the leader, whoever the leader is. The leader might not always be Crown. I have seen groups who will run someone else's Crown to kind of run the group. That way the leader himself can stay back a few steps and actually see the majority of the group. Because as Crown, if you are not on a perfect latency, people are going to look like they're behind you, even though on their screen, they're not. So it's hard to see from a leader's point of view if you are Crown and you don't have your camera all the way backed out, and and latency is a little off. So the leader might not necessarily always be Crown. You always want to listen to the leader no matter what. If the leader makes a bad call and we all go in and we die, so what? We all died together. That means we can all res together and go out for a new push. The number one problem that I have seen in Cyrodiil is that when the leader makes no calls and everybody kind of just does what they think is best, and then you have a group that is not working together and is going to get steamrolled by just a few people. On top of that, you need to keep comms as clear as you can, keep TeamSpeak as clear as you can. That does not mean that you cannot talk if we're running in between keeps, because the Transitus Shrine is broken. We cannot fast travel, so we're going to have to run on foot or horseback if you don't get the combat bug. You guys can talk, you guys can banter. It's fun, it's a game, it's supposed to be fun, so have fun. If you see an enemy or group of enemies, this is the following that would happen. You would say break, break, break. If you hear break, break, break at any time, don't finish your sentence, don't finish the word that you are speaking. Immediately uncue your mic and let the information come out that's about to follow. So if we are running through and you hear break, 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 enemies southeast, 40. That was a lot of information in a very short time. That would say that there's maybe a group of AD that are southeast of us, about 40 of them. That's big information that we need to hear so we don't get blindsided. So it is fine to talk and joke amongst yourselves, but when you hear break, 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 that's it. Uncue your mic, stop talking right then.
Question?
Grouping tight. We need extremely tight. If we have any stragglers at all, there are always going to be gankers trying to single out the one person who gets left behind. That is a lot on the leader. A lot of times the leaders will just go because they have high mount speed and they don't really pay attention to how long their tail is getting.
Sin, real quick, before
Yes,
we jump on to another subject, I think somebody was trying to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just wondering, are there the equivalent of scouts in the game?
I'm sorry, what?
Is there the equivalent of a scout, like one or two people who go ahead and see where the enemy might be?
That has proven useful in the past. In a group this size, what we have right now wouldn't really be an issue. But there are some people who will actually play scout and they will stay in a keep that has been captured, but they will stay hidden. That way they can see where the force that just took that keep away from, whoever, they can see where that force is going. They can give the people in their TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever they choose to use the okay, saying, okay, all of them left, come retake this keep. A lot of times you'll get a lot of information from watching other people's streams. If Fang Rush is on, he usually runs his own group, is about 8 people, but he usually has the entire DC faction behind him in different groups. You can see where they're going just by watching his stream. So you know where he's going to hit. The use for actual spies is not as big as it is in other games, as in like EVE Online.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So, going back to grouping tight, we need to stay grouped. We all need to stay together. That is a lot on the leader. Just kind of slowing down and letting people in the back catching up. But also, the people in the back, you need to be doing everything that you can to stay up with the group. If that means running rapids for yourself, please do so. Reslot it before we get back into combat, with whatever spell you're replacing it for. Strategies for defense and offense. This is going to be a big one, so what we're going to do, we're going to come up to the Transitus Shrine. And let's go ahead and go to Arius Keep.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and head out. I'll see you guys later. Thank you, Sen.
Thank you for coming to Aizville.
Super look forward to this recording.
Sure thing. It'll be up probably tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got to drop too. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Y'all
you're
have a good
welcome.
night.
Thank you for coming.
User disconnected from your channel.
Alright, Ash.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow me, we're going to go right outside the front door.
User left your channel.
You can stay right here, Ash. If you want to step right inside the door, that's fine. I need to go slot some more siege. And actually, if you want to come with me, I can show you exactly where that's at. So no matter where you go in Cyrodiil, if you own a keep, there will be a siege merchant somewhere. That siege merchant is always right next to the Transitus Shrine. On outposts, it is a little bit different. He's one room away, but he's on the same side. So this here is the siege merchant. You can buy siege for
User disconnected from your
for
channel.
offense. You can buy siege for defense. The best offensive siege that you can stock is the Packed Ballista, not the Fire Ballista or anything else. The Packed Ballista.
I don't. Should I get one?
You can, you don't have to, it's fine. So we're gonna run right back out here. Do you know how to use the siege?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Okay, so using the siege is very simple. You have to put it in one of your quick slots.
Okay.
And we can run right back outside. Alright, so from the defending side, this right here is what we would call the front door. It is not in the same cardinal direction on every keep. On this one, it happens to be north. Most keeps is actually south, but it does change from keep to keep. Right over here, this would be the postern. And if you actually dismount and get close enough to it, on the top of your screen you'll actually see a health bar. Every single wall in this entire castle is breakable. You can break this wall. And this is what we would use the siege for, to either break the wall. We can also break the door. The door itself has a health bar. And if we come up here into the towers, you actually have a nice big flat spot on the top side where you can mount your own siege to attack the people who are sieging from the outside in. So you can actually mount your own siege here. Whether it is oils or ballistas or trebuchets, you can attack the people who are attacking your keep with siege. Inside of this room, right over the gatehouse, you'll see a grate that you can see down. You can put down a vat of flaming oil. Now when you fire this weapon, it will put a big marker down on the ground where it's about to drop, and then it will drop. So you'll be able to see it very clearly if you are on the receiving end of the flaming oil. It's a big red ring that will open up, and when it gets to the full size, it'll drop, and it does about 10,000 damage a hit. So if somebody is sieging us with battering rams, we can drop it right on top of their head. We can drop this oil right on top of their head. We're going to go out to the resources. So we're going to be headed towards the mine, which is the pickaxe, the crossed pickaxes over here.
Now, are all the keeps about the same in terms of their layout and everything?
The what?
Are all the keeps the same?
No. This one is what we call a home keep. This one is a lot bigger than the rest of them. Inside is three floors instead of just two. There's some subtle differences, but they all play basically the same, although these do have more health than your normal keeps. So we are standing right beside the flag, or the pin. So people will say, you know, go to the pin. This is the pin. It's short for pin it. Every resource has a tower in it. They're not all specifically like this, but every resource has a tower. And a lot of the group play revolves around this tower on the resources. So this is always a 3-level tower. A lot of gankers will try to lure you in here, so if there has not been a call to go inside the tower, do not go inside the tower. You can set up siege here on the top floor and on the middle floor. So if somebody is attacking... Oh, yep, see? We got a ganker right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go get him. That didn't go so well. Okay, so if you hit the E to revive, you'll actually get an option. You cannot revive in place here. So we'll just go ahead and res back at Arius.
Now, that was pretty useless.
Nah, it's fine. Alright, so let's see, we have Bleakers, but it is going to be attacked. We have Chalman. This is not really a good night to do this, because we don't own anything. We can run out to Bleakers really quick. We might die, but it'll be fun. So we're going to go back to the Transitus Shrine. And we are going to port over to Bleakers. Oh, nope, it's flagged. We can port to Chal.
To where?
Chalman. At first, learning all the names of the keep is going to be a little bit hard. That just takes some time in Cyrodiil.
Yeah.
You'll kind of get a general idea of where we're going. But if not, you can always watch Crown. If you have the Transitor Shrine open and you're looking at the map, when your leader moves, you will see the path of where he goes, and you can just click on where the leader's at.
Yeah, I saw that.
So this is Chalman. This is what we call an imp keep. The inner six around the city, if you look at your map again, Chalman, Blue Road Keep, Castle Alessia, Castle Robeck, Fort Ash, and Fort Alswell. In order for an emperor to be crowned, one of the three factions has to control all 6 of those keeps. How emperor is decided is how many points you have within your faction. It's a lot of grinding if you want to be emperor. If you want to do that much grinding, by all means, go for it. Not my cup of tea. With Emperor, you actually get a lot of big buffs. You basically double your health pool, you double your damage, and not only you do it for yourself, but you do it for everybody around you. So it's a good thing to be Emperor, but it's an extremely hard goal to do because a lot of people farm for it constantly.
Not likely to do that.
I don't really think we're going to get into advanced tactics tonight with only 3 people. That can be for another night, though. Would you like to go out and play, or you want to call it a night?
I suspect. Let's just call it. Let me digest this. I think.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to be posting this recording, and I will put it up on the forum post that we announced with. I'm going to edit my first post and just include it in there. So if you need to reference back to it, feel free. And for anybody else who is watching the video right now, thank you very much. And we hope to see you guys on Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time.